Welcome to Codex History of Video Games. My name's Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week we're talking about how Mike won't stop talking about the Muppet Treasure Island game. And that is the title of this episode, and it does not fit in our header thing on our video. So for the 10 of you that watch the video, you're going to see that, and you're going to be like, it went off, and it's funny. And now that I've explained the joke, I feel like it lost a little bit.
I feel like it got funnier that I explained the joke.
Oh, wow. That's very nice of you to say.
Professional comedy podcast.
That's true. Okay, you are a professional comedian. Yeah, so you know what funny is. So I appreciate that. Thank you for telling me.
This is a professional podcast.
True.
As in, we make $0 off of it.
That's true. That is, somebody makes money off of it, and
we're probably negative, actually. When I think about it, YouTube definitely makes money off of us.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, here's what happened. Right. So I love the Muppets. This is a personal aside, and I'm gonna say something, and I'm not gonna take it back. Like I think Muppet Treasure Island is one of the best movies ever made, and you might be like, oh, like Muppet movies? No, I mean movie. Like period. Like I'm coming for you. Okay, what's that one? Citizen Kane. Yeah, I'm coming for you.
It's right up there.
Okay, it's right up there.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so true?
I don't know, man. I'm just feeling fire in my bones today. We're recording on a Friday, so this is not normal.
That's true.
For us.
We are normally a Sunday during the day recording podcast.
It's Friday night. Friday night recording.
That's right.
So tempted to have you push that button, but we can't do it because that will definitely get
probably
us
copyrighted. The Friday
this,
night song from I Think You Should Leave.
Probably. So I love the Muppets. I love Muppet Treasure Island. And so I was just doing some casual Muppet Wikipediaing like I do during my
as
day.
well, yeah.
And then, because I think it started with Muppet Christmas Carol, which is also one of the best Christmas movies ever made if you haven't seen it. No cheeses for us, Mises. Perfect line, I think.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It's so good. So anyway, Muppet Treasure Island is my favorite of all the Muppet movies, though. And then I was like, oh, I should look at the page of that again. And then I was scrolling down, and I don't know how I missed this, but in 1996, there was a Muppet Treasure Island point-and-click adventure game.
When did that movie come out? Was it like released at the same time, or was this like something done later?
I believe it was done later, and that would be a great question for me to have looked up what year Muppet Treasure Island
Here,
came out.
I got you. You keep
You
talking.
got it?
I got you.
Okay.
No, it did. The movie came out in 96 as well, so it was probably
okay. So they came out at the same
well-timed.
time. Yeah. So and it was made by Activision, and then, but obviously it had the help of like Jim Henson, and apparently Jim Henson had Jim Henson Interactive, which is a company that I didn't even realize existed. We kind of just fallen into the grime facts, by the way.
Sounds like we gotta go down a rabbit hole of Jim Henson games. Interactive games.
I don't know why I never thought about doing the Muppets before, but I love the Muppets. I am trapping Tyler in the Muppet fandom for this episode because, to be honest, it's almost Christmas time. I wanted to do something that brought me joy, so that's what we did. Okay?
Am I trapped or am I lovingly enclosed?
Are you Stockholm Syndromed lovingly into this Muppet episode?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So the warm embrace of Sweetums, the large Muppet. Okay. So developed by Activision and Jim Henson Interactive, as I said. Release date was 1996. We're going to get more into why this is important for Activision later on in the development section, because there is a development section.
Oh, right.
And
let's go.
The systems it came out on Windows and Mac OS. Now, it's really hard to play this game. You can, thanks to the power of archive.org, there's actually an in-browser emulator that lets you play the game, but it doesn't work very well because that's what I tried to do, and the sound problems were so frustrating that I stopped playing the game. Now, so what I did do instead is I watched a long play on YouTube to get like the rest of it, because I probably played the first like 10, 15 minutes that way, right? And the game, jumping to the grime fracks here, is only like an hour and a half long, okay? Maybe 2 hours if you click every button.
You could like play it while you're watching the movie and finish about the same time.
Probably. And that's important because there's some other stuff with that happening as well. But numbers of copies sold, completely unknown. The genre or gameplay style is a point-and-click adventure game. And the Metacritic score, it doesn't really have one. And it takes an hour and a half to beat. It's very much like a game for kids. And we're going to talk about that. It's also going to be a pretty short episode, if I'm being honest, because there's not a ton to say about this except how much I love it. So there's that. And I'm sure we'll get lost in the sauce a little bit. I say that it's a short episode, and then watch like everyone's looking down at their podcast player and seeing it's like 50 minutes long.
They're like, this episode is 4 hours long. 4 hours, 35 minutes long.
It's like the hardcore history of Muppet Treasure Island, the game.
Dan Carlin's like, how did you do that?
Dan Carlin's like, man, what a great podcast. Yeah, we're Dan Carlin's favorite podcast, specifically this episode.
Yes.
Okay. So the plot is pretty much the movie Muppet Treasure Island, based on the Robert Louis Stevenson novel Treasure Island, right? Are we all familiar with that?
I'm familiar that it is a novel
Island?
that exists. Honestly, I don't think I could tell you anything about it.
It's pretty much like one of the primary sources that make pirates today what people think pirates are.
Okay. It's got like Blackbeard and Long John Silver and X marks the spot. And okay. Maybe I should read it. I probably should read more classics.
I mean, it would be a good audiobook one, I think. I don't know if it's like a good, like a fun read. I've never read it myself. Except that's not true. I read, when kids' books would make like abridged versions for smaller children. I read that. That's what
you
I
had
read.
Treasure Island, the picture book.
Yeah. I also had a Jurassic Park book that was like that as well, which is kind of wild to think about because reading that book in full, like later on as an adult, I was like, this is scary and not for children.
Yeah.
But
they made a
wild.
PG movie out of it somehow.
That's true because dinosaurs are awesome. Okay, so the cool part about the plot is that like they reimagined a lot of the movie because they have to make it interactive. So a scene in the movie, let's say, where it's going to just like jump cut to them like being on the ship or something, they're actually going to have like a reason for it in the game and try to like transfer you through a little more subtly, which I thought was interesting. Like there's some scenes in the game that are not really in the movie. Like that they had to like kind of make up, right? So, or they like reimagined in different ways. So it kind of adds a little bit more to the story. And I should also mention that the voice acting, the FMV acting, because it's a full motion video acting.
And it's not just clips from the movie. It's like these were bespoke.
They reshot.
Wow.
With Tim Curry and Billy Connolly.
Whoa. That's amazing.
We're going to talk about how they did that in the development section, but it involves money. Okay. So you take on the role of Hawkins, who is the main protagonist. And the game even makes a joke about how like we're all Hawkins, you're Hawkins. That's like, you're playing that, right? That's how to make the game part of it work. The new
some real Hideo Kojima stuff right there.
Really is. You could argue this is Muppet Gear Solid, which I would play. I would play
Muppet Gear Solid for sure.
Only. I would quit all video games to play Muppet Gear Solid.
Yep.
Is that too strong?
No,
to say?
Absolutely not.
No?
Honestly, I think it's a little weak. I think you should give up more than just other video games. You should probably give up a lot of other things.
I will give up all media except Muppet media for Muppet Gear Solid.
Okay, I think that sounds reasonable.
Or it would be called like Muppet Felt Gear Solid because they made a felt, right? It's something like that. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
I think Muppet Gear Solid is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so the new addition to the game versus the movie, as far as characters goes, comes in the role of Stevenson, and Stevenson is a parrot that serves as the narrator / help and pause menu. So I said it in my notes. He's like Clippy, but for the video game, essentially. You have a Clippy, and his name's Stevenson, and he's a Muppet parrot, and he's pretty awesome. So
I'm on board.
That as you will, okay? And then Stevenson is there to just kind of move the plot along at certain times and also be where you would like save the game and stuff. Now, I'm not going to go into the plot of Treasure Island, but I will say that if you have not seen Muppet Treasure Island, you're missing out and you should watch it. And my favorite part of this whole entire movie is while the main plot is going on, there is a subplot in the movie where all of the Muppet rats are treating this like a cruise. Have you seen Muppet Treasure Island?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, dude. So like we could just watch this for our podcast one day. Why not? Essentially, like, so what will happen is it'll be like a serious scene in the movie where something happens and then it'll pan out to the ship and you'll just see like a rat water skiing across the ocean. Like, because they're pretending they're like on a cruise and they'll like go to a dance
Just
at a ball. It's
casually bringing the plague to wherever that ship is going.
That's true. That's true. That's a whole other dimension of that I didn't even think about. That's perfect. So yeah. So that's my favorite part of the movie is that all the rats are going on a cruise in the background and it's just perfect. So that's the plot. But the gameplay is like a variety of what I think are fixed, very well drawn backgrounds with clickable items that start FMV scenes or FMV jokes and sounds. So some of these are just like decorations. Like there's a point in the bar at the opening where you click on the moose and it just like turns into FMV and goes and then like goes back, you know, simple things like that. But there are also clickable items that lead you through the story, and very, very light puzzling is what I would describe it as. It is the simplest puzzle.
Not quite Myst levels of point and click puzzling.
No, this is not Myst or Blueprints levels of puzzling we're talking about here. Okay, everybody.
Or the Johnny Quest point and click adventure game that I had as a kid.
Dude, you know
I
what?
should bring that up. Cover Up at Roswell. I should look that one up.
Dude, you know what my other one is? I was going to say this at the end when I talk about future point and click adventure games. Bill Nye's Stop the Rock. Did you ever play that?
No, I did not.
It was Bill Nye the Science Guy, and the plot was as a asteroid coming to Earth, and you got to stop it through the power of science.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's pretty cool. Okay, so there are fun variations of the story when it comes to like the actual game, though. Like in one, you have to like determine like who is like there's these mini games essentially, right? And so in one of the mini games, you're trying to get clothes, but you got to earn money. So the way you earn money is by shooting meat pies out of a like crossbow at pirates that walk by this clothing store. So you're helping protect the clothing store, but also normal people walk by and you can't shoot them with a meat pie.
Only pirates. So you have to like profile these people. Do they look like a pirate?
They look like a pirate, and more importantly, there are music cues that tell you who's a pirate and who's not a pirate. So if you're a child, you can kind of like figure it out. Or a 37-year-old man who's getting lost in the game. That also helps. But I'm saying this is very much a kids game. I'll say it a billion times during this episode, but it's a very well done kids game. In fact, I would say if you have kids and you're listening to this episode, and maybe they're listening with you too, I think you should watch the movie or play the game or both. I think you should. I think it's really fun. And I mean, honestly, it's on RoccoW.org. So in my mind, it's from 1996. This should be free now. It's almost 30 years old. Yeah. Like, play the game. Just have fun.
Yeah, if you buy a copy of it, it's not like the developers are seeing any of that money.
Yeah, and it's also, if you buy a copy of it, it's not gonna like it's gonna be compatible with a modern machine. You're gonna have to like do some really weird stuff to make it
96, work. Yeah, even Macs, like that's like yeah, Mac OS 7, 8 era.
It's going to be really rough. So, other fun games, though, there's a music game on the piano, which was kind of a nice touch, because I don't know if you recall Muppet movies, Tyler, but they always have some sort of like musical element to them, where they like break out in song. And I will say the game doesn't really have that at all. So I thought it was cool that they put like a music puzzle in where you like play piano for patrons of a bar. And then they tip you and it becomes like a soundboard, and it's like you can kind of like play around with it too. It's a little more open, which I thought was neat.
It's always good for kids to have this like open-ended things where they can like create something.
Yeah, it's like a soundboard that you can actually change. Like I think at one point it's like a piano, and you can make it quack like a duck in different tones. It's kind of silly and fun. So, but the gameplay is mostly you clicking through the story, but there's just so much to click on. Like again, this is the amount of full motion video in this game is pretty astounding. I mean, you have to change CDs 3 times.
Whoa, this is a multi-disc game.
There's 3 discs, I should say. Like, so the first disc, second disc, and the third disc. There's 3 CDs for this, which really took me back. To be like, oh, you're playing Myst? Switch discs. You know, you got to move on.
Johnny Quest had 2 discs, too.
They got to store all that FMV. They got to store it all. It's wild. So, one portion of the game that I really enjoyed is when you first meet Kermit, and you're on the Hispaniola, the ship, right? Kermit has a list of chores for you to do to train to become a sailor. And I thought it was funny that the game is like, no, we got to justify why these children are on this boat with Muppets. We have to train them to become a sailor, right? And so the game like trains you, and I should say the training is like You're going to cook with Long John Silver. You're going to use Gonzo's nose as a hook to move cargo. Like cartoonish stuff like that, you know? But there is a point in the scene, in the game, where you are like identifying constellations.
Oh,
you are.
So we're learning.
Yeah, you're making a boat, like a model of the Hispaniola, like a model ship. You're assembling that. And then Kermit explains to you different parts of the ship. So it's got like this weird educational aspect to it in the middle of the game that I thought was really cool. Because you don't really see that much in these kind of games. This is also the first part of the game where you meet Tim Curry as Long John Silver. And that's just, that guy's got it, you know? He just crushes it every time.
Also, Tim Curry in FMV video games, name a more iconic duo.
Dude.
Because he's in the Command and Conquer stuff too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And guess what? Just like every other thing he's in, he's acting and giving 110% because he's Tim Curry. And we love Tim Curry. This podcast stands Tim Curry.
That's
right?
true.
100%.
I hope that doesn't come back to bite us later.
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
I
think that's good. If it does, I'll edit that part out. It'll just be like, this podcast stands, and I'll say Tim Curry, but then it'll be like Miyamoto.
Yeah,
Or something.
Oh, the disclaimer here. This podcast was recorded before any allegations of anything came out about Tim Curry. Don't know what those might be. Just saying that's what's happening.
Yeah. We gotta protect ourselves that way. That's smart, Tyler. I didn't think about that when I was writing this. But Tim Curry's character is great. Billy Connolly's great too. And they definitely record new things for this. Like, I don't recall things being in the movie that they're saying. So I was like, this is new stuff, which I think is pretty nuts. So I do think there is one thing though that fills my heart with joy in the gameplay. This is more of a plot thing. Is at first I was like, I don't see my rats on a cruise. I'm not seeing them. What's going on? I'm kind of upset. But then slowly you notice Easter eggs, and they kept it in the game. Like, we get a moment when you're on the ship and you're doing these chores for Kermit where you go up to the crow's nest and you notice little tiny white tablecloth dinner tables set up like for the rats on the cruise. And they're like, why are these dinner tables here? They're like, I don't know. And then you get to the island and you actually see the rats as well, too. So I was like, hell, they kept it in the game.
Yeah.
They did it for me, I like to think. So that's like super fun. I also think that they know the limits of point and click interactivity, right? So there's the part in the story, spoilers to a 30-year-old movie or a centuries-old book, is where Hawkins gets captured by Long John Silver, and in the movie it's like, oh, could you grab my crutch for me? And you like grab his crutch, and then he pulls you on board and kidnaps you and takes you to Treasure Island, and that's just so they don't make it so that, like, because originally, okay, let's back up. Kermit knows they're pirates, all right? Because Kermit's smart. We all know that. Well, he's playing Captain James Smollett, but he's very smart, Kermit is, and he knows they're pirates. So his plan is, I'm going to leave Long John Silver and all those guys on the island. The pirates will all go to the island. We'll stay on the boat, and then we'll just leave, right? And we'll leave them stranded on the island, and that's how we'll do it. But Long John Silver, also smart, uses his crutch to capture Hawkins, so they can't leave, because they wouldn't leave Hawkins behind.
Right.
Obviously, right? Yeah. So that's the very intricate plot pieces of Muppet Treasure Island I'm explaining to you. But the whole point of this is, in the game, they say, click on your crutch and give it to Long John Silver. And then the game stops, and Stevenson the parrot comes up. He's like, you really want to click on it? Do you think you know it's going to happen? Like, he just kind of like makes fun of the fact that it's an FMV game and you have to click on it to make the plot go along, but we all know what's happening. And I just thought that was like some real Muppet level humor, which was nice.
Meta humor a little bit.
Yeah. It felt like the Muppets are a good choice for a point and click adventure game. As far as like a IP goes, it makes me hope they did more stuff that I'm just missing that I can find later on. So let's get into the development section of this. Because, as I was saying about Activision earlier, this game actually took place during a kind of important period for Activision's, like, revival. So, in a New Media Magazine article from June 24th, 1996, they discuss how Muppet Treasure Island's release was the crest of a 4-year period where Bobby Kotick brought the company back from the brink. So Bobby Kotick, famous for acquiring Activision with 3 other investors in 1991 for $2 million. That's a pretty common story.
As covered in our History of Activision series.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So Kotick brought Activision back, though, in a few ways at this time. Like how he got the money flowing again. He released Return to Zork based on the Zork franchise that Activision already owned, and that sold like 1 million copies by the end of 1994. This is all from that article. They released arcade action packs, which were reworked already existing arcade titles that were ported to PC and sold in these packs, these bundles, right? And those sold like 200,000 units each, which is pretty good. But then they redid Pitfall for one of these, and that sold like 1 million units.
That'll do it.
Yeah. And the other thing they did is they fired 200 people.
Well, we don't love that.
No, but I didn't want to forget that part. You know, they fired people. Do you think that this episode was all going to be fun and games, and it would, even the Muppets would stop me from talking about the sadness of capitalism? Because it won't.
Nope.
Okay? Because that's how the business sausage gets made, is they fired 200 people from Activision in order to help bring it back from the brink. So I don't know. It's complicated feelings in Muppet Treasure Island's episode. So I was reading this and I was just like, of course, I do a podcast about a game that is something I love, and there has to be a horrible thing about capitalism related to it in some way, shape, or form. Okay. But Muppet Treasure Island came about when Kotick promised Activision he would, quote, create several big budget, first-rate titles each year starting in 1995, leading to solid profitability by 1997. Well, guess what? The Muppet Treasure Island point-and-click adventure game from 1996 was part of this project. The budget for Muppet Treasure Island, the video game, was $3 million.
That seems like a lot of dollars for a video game in
for a
1996.
point-and-click adventure game? Yeah, but I think that's partially why they could get like all the actors and Jim Henson Interactive involved, right? They got all the puppeteers of the Muppets, the voice cast of the Muppets. Billy Connolly and Tim Curry reprised their roles for the game, like from the movie, and they shot new scenes and new jokes that are good, like good, funny scenes that like make fun of the fact that it's a game and like all that kind of stuff. So, and also since this game came out in 1996, from the tech side of things, it was poised to be on DVD-ROM.
Ooh, wow, that's a little early for DVDs.
But it was
PCs.
on DVDs. It was on DVD-ROM. It got, well, in 1997, it was released.
Really? Were there even DVD drives for PCs in 1997?
So there was a thing, yeah, here. It was a thing I read on here. Yeah, because this was just from the Wikipedia page, full disclosure. It wasn't in that article. But it came out, well, there was a, like, here, there's like a story from April 18th, 1997. This is the news story I found that was linked to the Wikipedia page. Hi-Val introduces wireless DVD system. They just mean a DVD player that plugs into your PC that uses a remote like a normal DVD player. That's all it is. But they released Muppet Treasure Island as a game.
Okay, interesting. All right,
in a
gotcha.
bundle. So yeah, I said it's pretty advanced stuff. Right?
I suppose there was no disc changing on that one.
No, I wouldn't think so. Which is kind of why it was good for it to be like, look at this. It used to be on 3 discs, now it's on 1. Mm-hmm. Now you can just get the Muppets without changing. No more interruptions of changing discs to separate you
from your
Kermit
Muppets.
the Frog. From old Tom, very old Tom, and dead Tom to 3 famous characters from Muppet Treasure Island. Okay. Overall, though, like this is kind of the legacy part. Like I said, this is kind of short, but we can talk about other stuff. I would describe this as a very good kids game. Like, even though this game is almost 30 years old at this point, I think it would still like appeal to kids today, especially because the Muppets, like they're still around. You know, people watch Muppet movies with their kids. They know who the Muppets are. But here's the kicker. I think they should remake this game because it's a point and click adventure. Why not make it like a tap game on tablets?
Ooh, right? Yeah.
Because I bet there's already games for kids on tablets that take advantage of like soundboard tapping.
Oh, I'm
like
sure,
FMV does. So just port these point-and-click adventure games for kids onto tablets.
That seems like a pretty easy layup.
Yeah, like that's an easy dub.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's super easy. So I just thought about that because it just seems like a great thing. And then we already talked about it before, but there's so many other good educational point and click adventure games out there. Like I talked about Bill Nye, Don't Stop the Rock. There, I mean, we talked about Myst before. That's not even educational, but Myst. There's also the Monkey Island series. I mean, Monkey Island's famous. So there's a lot more. And also Lucasfilm did a bunch of point and click adventures.
Like Grim Fandango's in there too, I think.
Fandango, yeah.
Sam and Max Hit the Road.
There's a bunch of these. And so I just think this kind of genre we'd never touched before. And then I love the Muppets, so I wanted to talk about it. And now we're here. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy December if you don't have a holiday. At least it's this month.
Indeed. It is a new year soon.
It is a new year soon. But Tyler, what you been playing?
Oh boy, this week. Well, I've been pretty busy. The end of the year is a busy time for me often. So I have not had a whole lot of time to play much. When I do get a few minutes, I'm playing Pokemon Legends ZA. I am enjoying that. And of course, we were playing some Guild Wars recently. We haven't played in a couple of days, but we got to keep going on that. But that's kind of it, I think. I really haven't. I bought a lot of games. The Steam sale started today. I'm buying a lot of games, but I'm probably not going to play them. It's reverse piracy, buying games I won't play rather than playing games I won't buy.
It's how you give back to the community.
That's right.
It's how you give back to the big corporations.
Yeah,
that's what people say.
That's how I give back to the big corporations. I just love doing that. As I know you do as well, Mike. What have you been playing?
Oh man, that's kind of big news. I've been playing Guild Wars with you, but I bought an analog 3D.
Ooh.
So I've thought about getting one for a long time.
That's the N64?
This is the N64. That it's a new piece of hardware that plays N64 games natively. So you just put your cartridge in like normal. It has ports for the N64 controllers. I've been playing it with my Brawler 64 controller, but it's great. And it's just really nice. It just makes it way more accessible to have it on a modern console. It's got HDMI. You plug it into your TV. You can turn on filters. You can do all sorts of stuff to the game. It runs really well. And it's just a nice experience. Like I've really, really been digging it. So I've been playing Snowboard Kids 2 again.
Good.
With that on there. Winning races.
All right.
I think the game would be way harder if I use the true older controller, but I'm not going to do that.
Why do you say that?
Because the old controllers are really hard to use
sometimes.
Like the analog sticks just wear down.
That's true. They do. They turn into dust.
My analog sticks on both of mine are not that great, which is why I've been using the Brawler 64. I didn't buy the 8-bit controllers that they have because they have those for sale to match it if I wanted to get one. But I was like, I'm going to hold off on that because I might just want to use the Brawler 64. And it's wired, but honestly, I like it.
Yeah, so, I have the wireless Brawler 64 for PCs, like I Bluetooth it in, and it's great. I played Paper Mario with it and had a great time.
There's USBs on the back of the analog one too, so I wonder if you can get like a USB Bluetooth thing.
I think it has Bluetooth built in.
It might have Bluetooth. Oh, does it? It might.
I think
probably
so.
Does.
I think it does.
It was kind of a pretty penny, but I bought the grape one, so it's also like got that retro flair to it. It's got that transparent grape. It's pretty good.
Atomic
I put a picture
purple.
of it on the Discord. Yeah, the atomic purple. If you want to look at it, you can go to the Discord. Speaking of Discords, we have a Discord.
That's true.
And you can join it by going to codexpodcast.net. That's our website. There's a bunch of links on there, and you can click the Discord one for an invite that never expires. And this is kind of a short one this week. It is.
That's okay.
But that's okay because I wanted to talk about Muppet Treasure Island, the game.
Yeah.
And how everyone should play it. Or watch the movie. Or just think about Muppets. Or watch a movie with Tim Curry in it.
And you can do all three of those things if you turn on Muppet Treasure Island.
It's true. You could do all three of that. Thank you. That's the perfect ad for Muppet Treasure Island. We should write ads for 30-year-old movies.
Yeah.
That's what we should do.
We've missed our calling here,
We really did. Oh, man, the 90s. Okay. Well, with that, though, I think that's it for the day. I don't know if we're coming back next week because we're both going to be out and about.
Yep, it's the holidays, so we're going to take some time away. Yeah, but depending on how things shake out, maybe we'll have something, maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't. But with that, Tyler, would you like to say goodbye to everybody?
Sure. Goodbye, everybody.